We'll delve into some of the most frequently asked questions that we have received over the years. We'll cover all the key topics that you've been curious about. After that, we'll turn our attention to the Q&A chat box and make sure to address any additional questions. So we'll start with Ace, and Marianne is here today to answer some of the questions. Hello, Marianne.
Hello.
All right,
Welcome,
let's
everyone.
start. Thank you. All right, let's start with the first questions that students have asked. What is a learning management system and why do we need to use it?
So a learning management system is a digital or online platform typically where faculty will use it, upload information, make learning materials available and activities available to you through the platform. And so even though you may have in-class class time or even virtual class time via meetings, there is still an online component that almost all instructors will use, and they will place that learning material and that those dates, deadlines, activities, quizzes, drop boxes, etc., in the learning management system for you.
All right, thank you. So that kind of goes into the next question also. Do I need to use iLearn or is attending classes in person enough?
It's almost never enough. And so again, because your instructors may have drop boxes within iLearn, quizzes within iLearn, important dates and deadlines within iLearn, lesson materials, recordings, assignments, all of these things are typically found within the learning management system. And so it's vital that you use that as well and that you log in frequently.
All right, thank you. So it goes hand in hand, basically, with classes. Yeah, so the next question then, when can I log into iLearn?
So iLearn, which I'll mention, your instructors may also call D2L, and the product is called Brightspace. So Brightspace by the parent company D2L, we have branded our learning environment iLearn. So typically as a new student, you will have access to your iLearn account only after you have enrolled in classes through your self-service account. So iLearn doesn't know you exist until you've enrolled through self-service in your classes for the first upcoming semester. Shortly after that, typically within 8 hours of you enrolling in your classes, your iLearn account will be generated and you'll be able to log in. Until then, you will it'll look like you're unable to log in or that something's wrong because you don't exist in the system yet. So be patient.
Be patient, first day of classes. Yeah. And you mentioned some words there, D2L. So could you explain the difference between iLearn, Brightspace, and D2L, please?
So D2L is the company that creates their product, Brightspace. Brightspace is what we use as our learning management system, and iLearn is what Canadore College calls it. And I should clarify from the last question that although you will have access to your iLearn account within about 8 hours from enrolling in your courses, you'll be able to get into the system, but you won't have access to your course shells or see your courses in iLearn until the first day of the class. So typically, mostly the first day of the semester. But if there's a stagger in start dates for your courses, you may see those other courses later. So access after enrollment in courses, course access only once the course begins.
All right. So when will my classes be available on iLearn?
Yes, I'm kind of covering all of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, your courses will be available on iLearn typically once they begin, first day of classes, and access usually starts at midnight on the day of, right? So very, very early in the morning, the day of class, you'll have access.
Now, if my class, for example, is online, how will I join it? And where do I find the link to join my class?
So typically your instructors will have created a Teams link or maybe a Zoom link that will be made available to you, possibly, definitely in iLearn, possibly in a news message, or possibly in the content area of your course. So somewhere there will be hopefully a welcome message, some context that will lead you to being able to log in for that first meeting. I generally also encourage instructors to add it to the calendar in iLearn for the course so that you can see that meeting and meeting link in your upcoming dates and deadlines in the calendar as well.
All right, thank you very much. And we have one final question. What is the Pulse app and is it useful?
It's very useful. So the Pulse or Brightspace Pulse app is an app for your mobile device that will link you seamlessly with your D2L or iLearn environment. And so you log in the same way that you log into iLearn, and it will make all of your courses and course content accessible to you in a digital and mobile way. Very useful because it also aggregates all of your dates and deadlines, gives you a little pulse graph of when your busiest times are, and allows you to receive seamless notifications and updates to your courses. It is more reliable as a source of updates than text messages or emails, and it's all available to you all the time on your mobile device. So I highly recommend that you download it from, it's available for iOS and Android, and very useful, yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much for answering all the questions.
All right, next up, we've got some questions for Emerson with the IT department. Hi, Emerson.
Hi.
So our first question is about the bring your own device policy. What is that and is it mandatory?
So the bring your own device policy is a program delivery model that will require students to have a mobile computer device that meets the minimum technical requirements that's outlined for each program.
And so what type of laptop should a student get? Do they need to use what's listed on the bring your own device requirement guide? Or for example, if that guide says, you know, use a Mac, can they use a PC or the other way around?
Yeah, so we do, as you mentioned, we do have a BYOD document that outlines what kind of computer details and minimum requirements are needed for each program. They can be different. For example, some programs might prefer a Mac computer, like our media courses, but do note that sometimes software may not be compatible between Windows or Mac PCs. The best thing to do is to reference the document. If you have further questions regarding the program or maybe applications that might be used in the program, the contact of the program coordinator is always included in the BYOD policy, so the students are welcome to contact the program coordinator for more details.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next up, printing on campus. Do students need to have their own printer on campus, or are there places where they can print on campus?
So students aren't required to bring a printer. They are welcome to use some computer labs that we do have on campus. We have some computer labs at College Drive in rooms D237 and D242. There was a recent change for our College Drive campus computer labs where they are now flex classrooms as well. So should you arrive at one of these rooms and want to use the computers, if a class is present during that time, you will need to respect the students and the class and return at a later time when the room is available. Usually a schedule is posted outside the door. Other than that, we do have labs at Commerce Court in W156 and at Aviation in Y204.
Fantastic. Next up, antivirus software. Should, excuse me, should students have antivirus software on their devices? And if so, do you have any recommendations? What should they have?
So we usually advise that students use antivirus software. We can't necessarily recommend a specific software because there are so many. There's lots of reliable companies out there that do offer good quality antivirus services.
Fantastic. Next up, what happens if my laptop breaks down? What should a student do if that happens?
So the best advice that we can give regarding that is for the student to preemptively prepare should a failure occur in the first place. The best thing to do is to save any of your schoolwork to a cloud service like Google Drive, or you could save it to OneDrive. We do provide students with an Office 365 account, so OneDrive is available there for them to save their information. If a failure does occur, there are a lot of local businesses that do offer assistance or repair services like Staples, Best Buy, and many other local repair businesses. Unfortunately, the service desk doesn't offer repair services itself, but we can advise you to point you in the right direction to somebody who can assist.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned Office 365, so let's talk about that. Do Canadore students get free access to Office 365, and how do they even access it?
Yes, so students, while they are attending Canadore, are provided Office 365. This includes Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, all those applications, including OneDrive as well. The students have access to this through their @canadorestudents.ca email address. And you're welcome to visit our guide on Office 365 on our website that details all the steps to get into your account.
Awesome. So what is my Canadore email address? And do I need to use my Canadore email, or can I still, as a student, use my personal email address?
Yes, so the Canadore email address will be under the @canadorestudents.ca domain. Each student's provided this with their Microsoft account, and it is needed for accessing some Canadore resources. It isn't required for the student to use this email for communications, but they will need to use it for some of our services, things like accessing computer labs, using Microsoft 365, accessing library resources when taking out or reading online resources through the library, using Connect 2 if they're registered with the media program so that they can take out computer equipment, or to use Accommodate if they're registered with Student Success.
Fantastic, very important. Next up, what is MFA and SSPR?
Yes. So, IT and their lovely acronyms. A lot of students might be familiar with MFA. It stands for multi-factor authentication. It's very common nowadays. You may use it with your bank or with an Amazon or a Google account, where when you go to sign in, it asks you to confirm your identity by sending a text to your phone or giving you a notification via an app. SSPR is a new recent service that we implemented. It stands for Self-Service Password Reset, not to be confused with Canadore's self-service, which is also different. It essentially gives students the ability to reset their password at any time. The service desk is available during school hours during the week, but should a student have login related issues on a weekend or after our hours, the student is able to reset their password the same way. They put it in their phone number, they confirm the number, and it lets them reset their password should they be stuck in a situation on the weekend where they need to get some work done. It is a requirement that MFA be registered for your Microsoft account. If you have any issues, students are always welcome to reach out to the service desk and we can assist them. And yeah, that's probably about it.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
That's really great to know about the password resetting function for outside of hours. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, last question, Emerson. When should a student contact the IT department, and what is the best way for them to contact you folks?
Fantastic. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, we can assist with many different services. If you're having issues signing into your Microsoft Office account, if you're having issues signing into self-service or the Harris Learning Library, or if there are any reports for printer issues or lab issues in any of the labs that I mentioned earlier, you're welcome to contact the service desk. We can best be reached at service.desk@canadorecollege.ca. You can also reach us at extension 5800, or you're always welcome to drop by in person at the College Drive campus to room D228. We are available from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. And if you're asking for assistance, it's always best to make sure in an email or when you call to provide your name, student ID, and birthday and program so that we can best assist you right away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emerson. That was great.
No problem.
All right. So next set of questions for Erin from Access and Inclusion.
Perfect. Thanks, Ziad.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Erin Plurd, pronoun she and her, and I'm the Access and Inclusion Coordinator here at Canadore.
Thank you. So let's ask the first question then. What is access and inclusion?
So access and inclusion, we have a focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion. It's a safe space for everyone, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, and it's a safe space for students to come in and ask questions, meet new friends, and connect with services both on campus as well as in the community.
Great. And if I want to use my preferred name instead of my legal name, how do I do this?
So that's something I can definitely help you with. We can facilitate a name change request on your behalf, and this can be processed once you register for your program or at any time throughout your time with us at Canadore. It's extremely important to us to ensure that you're identified properly in our hallways, classrooms, and other extensions of our Canadore community. I'll put the link in the link for the fillable form in the chat if this is something that you are interested in.
All right, perfect. And the next question then is, how do I know if I'm a first generation learner?
So a first generation learner is one whose parents or guardians have not attended a post-secondary institution. So if your sibling has attended a college university, but your parents or guardians have not, then you're still considered a first generation student.
And the final question, I want to know more about access and inclusion. How can I connect with the access and inclusion coordinator?
So there's several ways. You can swing by my office. I'm located at the College Drive campus in room G226. So at the front of the campus, as you walk in the doors, Twigs Coffee Roasters is going to be right there. And I'm just behind that, tucked away with all the nice couches in the glass area. Alternatively, you can connect with me by email or telephone, and I'll put that information in the chat as well.
Perfect. Different ways to connect. And it will be in the chat now. Thank you very much, Erin.
Thanks, Ziad.
All right, next up, we've got some questions for Alana with Student Success Services. Hi, Alana.
Hi.
So our first question for you, what is Student Success Services and when should a student go to Student Success Services?
Good question. So Student Success is available to all students on campus. Students who access our services come for a wide range of reasons, from accessible learning services and academic accommodations, mental health supports and learning strategies, or are just looking for support in general. Students registering for academic accommodations must have a permanent or temporary documented disability. We can provide students with a student success profile that will outline their academic accommodations. We can provide referrals for psychoeducational assessments, assistive technology and training, accommodated testing, and we offer a variety of mental health resources from awareness events to short-term support and community referrals. In addition, we also have our international transition, retention, and support coordinators who provide support to our international learners on all campuses. You can come to Student Success at any time, but if you are looking for learning support, academic accommodations, or mental health support, the sooner the better so we can get those supports in place. Our offices are open from 9 to 4 during the school year and the work week. So we're available by phone or email, or you can walk in and see us and book an appointment that way.
And is there a deadline for a student to register with Student Success Services?
There is no deadline to register, but again, if a student has a documented disability, requires academic accommodations, or mental health support, then we recommend that you connect as soon as possible, and especially to provide that documentation so we can ensure that supports are in place.
Absolutely. So if I'm a student and I'm going to Student Success Services for mental health support or counseling, will this show up on my transcript or who knows this information?
So this is a really good question. So it will not show up on your transcript. All of our services are strictly confidential. We do not disclose who uses our services or why, and we must adhere to the guidelines as set out by the Ontario Personal Health Information Privacy Act. So we do need written consent before disclosing any personal information.
Thank you. So next up, if I'm having trouble in my classes or one of my classes, but I don't have a documented disability, are there supports available?
Supports are available, yes. Students can access learning and transitional support even if they do not have a documented disability. If a student is in need of support, it could be time management, organizational, studying or note-taking support, then they can come in and connect with us for learning support and peer tutoring at a small fee.
Excellent. And my final question for you, Alana. Is there a Student Success Services office available on all of the campuses at Canadore?
Yes, we support all campuses. We have an office and a resource center at the campus, the College Drive campus, the Commerce Court, and Aviation campuses. West Perry Sound students can connect virtually or by phone, and we do provide in-person accommodated testing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alana.
Thank you.
And we'll move to the next set of questions for Shauna from Center for Career and Development. Hi, Shauna. All right. Let me ask the first question. Can both domestic and international students work on campus? And also, how many hours would they be able to work?
Awesome. So campus jobs are open to both international and domestic students that are enrolled in a full-time program and demonstrate a financial need and maintain a GPA of 2.0. During each semester, we offer we call it the CWSP, it's the Canadore Work Study Program, which offers 10 hours a week and is paid at minimum wage and allows the ability to work around your academic schedule. And then during the summer months, we offer the I Can Work program for students between Canadore programs, and it offers 35 hours a week for up to 15 weeks and is also paid at minimum wage.
All right, thank you. So next question is, how can I apply for on-campus jobs, and when is the deadline to apply?
To apply for the on-campus jobs, use the job portal. It's on the Canadore website, and the drop-down menu across the top, go to support and then student employment. All the campus jobs are listed in the portal and include a link to an eligibility form. That students use to fill that. Students use to demonstrate their financial need, and allows the admin staff to verify their GPA to determine their eligibility. After a letter confirming the eligibility will be emailed to the student, then you're ready to apply. The job posting will list the hiring manager who you'll send your cover letter, resume, and eligibility form to. The deadline for the applications is 3 weeks after they open. Usually the jobs open right at the beginning of the semester, so 3 weeks from then. Right now, the spring semester has already been closed and hired, so the next round will start in September.
All right, thank you very much for the questions. We do have one last question. What other services are provided by the Center for Career and Development?
We pretty much offer all things related to employment. We can help review and provide feedback for your job search documents, like your resume and cover letter. We can help with job search supports, do mock interviews to prepare for your actual interviews. We host networking events. We offer entrepreneurship support and mentorship opportunities. And we also run the Canadore Volunteers program. That students have the option to have a co-curricular record that just tracks all of their volunteer work, and they can use that for employment later after college. And they're also available once you've graduated. Alumni have access to our services for life.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for answering the questions.
Our next topic is the campus bookstore, and we've got Kathy here to help answer some questions. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Jill.
All right, our first question. How do I know, or how will I know what books I need for my classes?
So this information will be available online. You can find out what books you need for each course by going to the Campus Shop website. You select Canadore College and then the spring 2024 semester. And then you'll search for your course books by division, which is really your campus, so Commerce Court or College Drive, and then department, which is your program, and all the courses that you've registered for, so that appear on your schedule and self-service. If no textbooks are required, or if the bookstore has not yet received information about what is required, that information will also be listed for you.
Fantastic. And when is the bookstore open?
So the bookstores at the College Drive campus, the hours through the summer are Monday to Thursday, 8:30 to 4, and Friday will be 8:30 to 3.
Fantastic. Now, will the bookstore deliver textbooks to residents or to other campuses for free or otherwise?
No, actually, there isn't any shipping to residents, but there is in-store pickup available at the College Drive campus.
Okay, great. So you kind of already mentioned this, but I just want to reiterate just for those newcomers here today. If there
Sure.
are no textbooks showing up, you know, when I search for that, does it mean that that I don't need any textbooks for the course? Can you just repeat that?
Yeah, at this point, if the campus shop hasn't heard from the instructor or nothing's been posted, they'll list that there. So you would assume if there's nothing there, you don't have a book. When you get to class, if your faculty gives you other direction, but no, if there's nothing listed there, you can assume there is no book required.
Excellent. And can students sell their books back to the bookstore after they're done with them?
There is a buyback program available for students. The amount offered is based on the demand for the book as well as the condition of the book. So you want to keep it in fairly good shape. A student card and a debit card are required to complete any transactions with the campus shop.
Okay, great. And last question about the bookstore. So we know you can buy brand new books at the bookstore. Can you buy used books? What are the options?
Yeah, there are new, used, and digital options available. There's often an option to rent or buy. If your course requires courseware or online recourses, then you'd want to select new, as there's no guarantee that the codes would still be in use from a used book. Renting is also a good option if the book will not be needed for more than one term, and rental accounts can be set up online.
Excellent. Thanks, Kathy. Now
Sure.
we'll get you to keep your microphone on. Ziad's got a couple more questions for you about BusPass.
All right,
Okay.
just a couple more questions then.
Sure.
Student cards and bus passes. So the first question is, how do I get a student card, and when will it be ready for pickup? Sorry, it's a three-part question. Final
That-
one is-
That's okay. That's okay. So emails were sent out from admissions earlier this week regarding bus passes and student IDs. So you'll want to check your inboxes, and if you don't see it there, maybe check your junk folder as well. So there's direction within those emails, but our student ID card is actually digital now, so you won't be receiving a hard copy. You don't have to pick it up then because it is digital. It'll automatically go to your phone. So you'll follow the link that'll be posted in the chat and is also in that email. And you scan the QR code, and then you identify yourself using your student number, which is generally like an A and 2 zeros and then 6 numbers after that. And then you'll take a selfie, and then you'll have your ID. Now, since it's not on an app, we encourage you to bookmark your digital ID for easy access on your phone. Yeah, and it'll automatically go to your phone. If you decide to get a bus pass, which we'll talk about in a second, that will automatically be added to your digital ID on your phone on May 1st.
All right, awesome. So it's digital IDs.
Yes.
Thank you. So that's and then we have a final question about bus passes. So are bus passes available for students? And also, can I opt out of bus passes? How do I get the bus pass?
Sure. So if you don't want a bus pass, then do not complete the opt-in form that was sent to you or that's in the chat. But if you do want the bus pass, then complete the opt-in form with the link provided by April 26th. If you do it by April 26th, then it will be activated on your student ID for May 1st. So you'll want to have it done by April 26th. The bus pass charge will be added to your account, and payment has to be received by May 1st in order for it to be activated. or there will be a late charge. So you'll want to be sure to get that payment in by May 1st. And just a note that if you opt into the bus pass, you're not permitted to opt back out. So do not complete that form unless you want the bus pass.
All right, thank you very much for answering the question, Kathy.